Critical meeting of Democrat senators is expected to begin shortly. This is the first meeting after the U.S. presidential debate and the president's performance, which triggered serious questions on President Biden's ability to shoulder a reelection bid. The meeting comes amid growing concerns within the blue camp and several Democrat representatives calling for Biden to be replaced as questions over his health and mental acuity continue. However, the 81-year-old slammed his critics within the party and challenged them to take him on at the party's national convention in August. During a phone interview on Monday, Biden dismissed the concerns of some fellow Democrats, saying, quote, "The bottom line is, I'm not going anywhere." And it seems that his political rival, Donald Trump, also agrees with the incumbent. Trump, in a separate interview on Fox, said that Biden would refuse to quit the presidential campaign. The Republican leader pointed out that the president had secured the Democratic nomination because of all the convention delegates he won the backing of during the Democratic primaries held this year. Amid growing concern and media reports over Biden's health, the White House also issued a press statement on Monday dismissing claims that Joe Biden was seeking treatment for Parkinson's.
If it's not in the medical report, obviously it's not something that the president is dealing with. Well, I can tell you this. Just going back to Parkinson's for a little bit, so to give you some answers here, has the president been treated for Parkinson's? No. Is he being treated for Parkinson's? No, he's not. Is he taking medication for Parkinson's? No. So those are the things that I can give you full-blown answers on. But I'm not going to confirm a specialist, any specialist that comes to the White House out of privacy.
The White House statement followed reports that surfaced last week claiming that a doctor specializing in the illness had paid a visit to the White House at least 8 times over the past year. All right, to get more on this, we are now being joined by Peter Kuznick, professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. Peter, great to see you and welcome back to WION. Will calls for the president to step aside cool down, or will they get louder even after that defiant letter he wrote to congressional leaders on Capitol Hill?
The next 48 hours will be crucial. Right now, the pressure is mounting, but it's behind closed doors. So we don't know exactly what is being said. There's an important meeting going on right now among congressional Democrats. And we know that many people are going to be making the case for Biden to step down, arguing that Biden will not defeat Trump, that if Trump gets power, that'll be an existential threat to American democracy, and that the Democrats need a much stronger candidate. There's a lot of concern also among Democratic candidates lower down, local elections, House elections, Senate elections, that if Biden's on the top of the ticket, that turnout is going to be depressed and that they're going to also lose. And so the Democrats fear a bloodbath in the upcoming election if Biden remains at the top of the ticket. But Biden is in control, and he seems to be fiercely resisting all the pressure to step aside. In fact, some of the things he's saying seem to be almost delusional about the support that he has, about how strong the candidate he is, about his chances for winning in November. And so we see the polling, and approximately, or more than 3/4 of the American people say that he's too old, and mostly younger Americans are really disappointed, not only with his age and mental acuity, but also with his policy toward Gaza, and many also with his policy about Ukraine. And so this is a very, very serious moment for the American public.
Well, it seems as its advisors are the First Lady Jill Biden and his son Hunter Biden as well, pushing him to continue in this race. As you mentioned, the next 24 hours are very critical. What about this NATO summit? Will it play some kind of pivotal role, or would it have a moment for President Biden to show that he is indeed up for the task or not?
Biden will certainly try to appear vigorous and in control, but we know that NATO leaders are very concerned. And they're concerned because if Biden loses to Donald Trump, then the future of NATO is very much in question and in doubt. Trump has been openly critical of NATO, especially NATO members who don't pay 2% of their GDP toward the military, and has said very inflammatory things about NATO. So the NATO leaders are going to do everything they can to try to boost Biden's public appearance because they are hoping, most of them certainly, that Biden defeats Trump in the upcoming election or that the Democrats choose a stronger candidate. Now, if that stronger candidate is Kamala Harris, she may be stronger than Biden, but she might not be strong enough to defeat Trump, which is why people are also banding about other names, other possible people, candidates like Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, and others also.
Yeah, they're in deep trouble right now, the Democrats. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We've been promised that solo press conference by the president on Thursday as well. Peter, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.